I'm
Pastor Leon. This is my wife, Lady Tomika.
Hey, you guys.
And we are from Mobile, Alabama.
Are we from Mobile? We really are from Mobile.
If you're watching the replay, you know how we do it. Hashtag replay anointing. If you are not watching the replay and you are joining us live, we want you to go ahead and share.
That's right. That's right. Share it. Share it. We're here. Marriage Monday. Got to power up. Yes, yes, yes. Looking at my hat here. It's kind of a little funky doodad thing here going on, but it's okay. It's what we do as ladies. We
hope you're having a great week.
Yes. We hope you're having a great Monday. He's actually doing some tech stuff right now. He's fixing something, but we're getting ready to get going with Marriage
And look,
Monday.
how have you been enjoying Marriage Monday?
Ooh.
I want to know how you've been enjoying it. This is our second week in February.
Second week in February.
So that means we've done it. I mean, we've presented 5 Marriage Mondays to you.
Yes.
So,
and for us, Marriage Monday has been fun.
It's been fun.
Oh my, it has been really fun. Like, I mean, we only show some stuff, but you know, you get to see kind of like, you guys see the pretty cute stuff that we edit.
Yeah.
But
you see the edited version. Like our coffee and conversation.
Oh my.
The actual video was about 2 hours, hour and a half,
Yes,
2 hours.
Yes.
And we had to cut it down to like an hour or maybe 45 minutes. I believe it was.
Yeah.
But it's just fun. It's fun. We've been enjoying it. We've been enjoying talking to other couples and sharing with other couples. In our Marriage Monday.
Yeah.
So we just pray it's been a blessing to you to watch and enjoy.
Marriage Monday has been so fun to tape. That's what we're going to say right now. And as soon as he finishes his techie stuff,
I want you to go ahead, if you're watching us, go ahead and share.
You know, because Marriage Monday.
It's Marriage Monday. And who doesn't like Marriage Monday?
People who don't like marriage. I'm petty. I'm being petty right now.
But today we're going to actually have a very serious conversation.
Yes. You know, at the Bells, we have our fun, but this one today probably is going to be a little bit, today is going to be a little touchy. So get ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he finishes his techie stuff.
So making sure we are letting people know that we're out here.
His techie stuff. He's a whole pastor. But for those of you who just joined, he did ask earlier, how have you been liking Marriage Monday?
How have you been enjoying Marriage Monday?
So yes. You ready?
Yes.
All right.
Hello.
He is finally done with his techie stuff. Whoa. Hello. Got it. So, Marriage Monday. Let's get going. Once again, we're the Bells. He's Pastor Bell and Lady Bell, and we've been doing Marriage Monday now since the first week of January. We have done at least 5, and if you have not viewed them, go back and view the old videos. They are fun. They are powerful. Some will probably make you cry. Some of them will touch you, and you'll go, whoa, wow, I'm not the only one. So, as that in doing those videos, there's a lot of fun, and it's really light. But then there's this side of marriage that can be sometimes not so fun. Yeah. There are times when we don't like our spouse, but we love them. And then there are those challenging times in our marriages where things hit hard. Finances. The number one reason for divorce. Financial difficulties. It's not adultery. Wow, go figure. Then you do have adultery, which will be the number 2. And then you have just plain old irreconcilable differences. So what we're going to do now in the next couple of series that are going to come up is we're going to start talking about some of the tough stuff as it pertains to marriage. Some of the tough issues.
Overcoming those challenges.
Exactly. So for us, we always start with telling our own business first. So we recently had something. Well, not recently, actually.
I think it's important that we are open book. We are really an open book.
Yeah.
And like Lady Bell said, we don't mind telling our own business. No. No one can tell you nothing about the business that we haven't already told you.
Exactly. Exactly.
if you have followed us or watched us, and you know.
Yeah. You know. Hey.
But something that I think it happened most recently, but what many people do not know, is that we have had 2 miscarriages.
We've had 2 miscarriages.
The most recent was last year, last November. And our first one was in 2013.
The end of 2013.
The end of 2013.
Yeah.
We had our first miscarriage, and we're gonna talk about overcoming losses.
Yeah.
Because No, we had the miscarriage last year, but honestly, I just got healing from it last month.
Yep.
I did. I had a very transparent moment with my wife because we do deliverance, we talk about soul hurts and this kind of stuff. But I'll go back to our very first miscarriage.
Yeah, because I would have to say for us, and that's one of the questions that we're going to ask the couples in the series coming up. What is the most difficult thing that has happened to you and how you overcame it? How did you overcome it? Because each one is different, and ours would probably have to be the miscarriage. I mean, we've gotten through the being hungry, the not having the money, the finances, the blended family, the blessed children. Yes, you ain't my daddy. We've gotten past all of that. And I think that the miscarriage, that feeling of loss, was probably the hardest thing for us.
And it's not just, it's not the feeling, just the feeling of loss, but the feeling of loss and helplessness. Like, it's nothing you can do about it. Like, we had our first miscarriage in 2013. We were excited. We had found out about the pregnancy like in October. And we weren't going to tell anyone until my birthday in November. November 23rd was my birthday.
Yeah.
So we found out in October. We weren't going to tell anyone until my birthday. We have a big reveal about, hey, we're pregnant. And we went through the pregnancy, and those weeks were fine. And November 22nd, day before my birthday, she had a doctor's appointment. She went to the doctor's appointment like she always does.
Yeah.
I didn't go this time because I was working. I couldn't get off, so I didn't go. Well, she went to the doctor's appointment, and I didn't hear from her for several hours, which is unusual. I usually hear right from her after the doctor's appointment. And when I did hear from her, she was headed to the hospital, Providence Hospital. Well, of course, at this point, I'm like, okay, what's going on? Important to note, at this time, we only had one car. And I'm at work.
Oh my, yeah, that was funny.
I'm at work, and she's heading to the hospital from a doctor's appointment. She's heading to the hospital.
I'm laughing really hard. Wait, it's important to know at this point. Not only did we just have one car, I think.
Yeah.
Were the phones off?
The phones were off.
I think our phones were off at that point too.
We had one car and our phones were off.
We've been through a whole lot, okay?
So
it's coming in the book. It's coming in the book.
So
it's coming.
So I didn't hear from her for a couple of hours because she couldn't call me and I couldn't call her.
That's right. I couldn't call you.
So I think I called the doctor's office.
That's right.
I called the doctor's office and then they told me that you had left.
Yeah.
That she had left.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure how we even talked because I was at work. And you were heading to the hospital.
Listen, let me tell you something. When you don't have a phone in your hand all the time, you can find ways to communicate, okay? I promise you can. I called your office I called you from the doctor's office. And then I called my mama, shout out to Tina, R.I.P., to pay my phone bill. Yes, I did.
Yes.
If she were alive, she would love that, okay?
So she called from the doctor's office. I mean, from the hospital.
Yeah.
What's going on? She said, well, the doctor wanted to come to the hospital because some things didn't look right on the ultrasound. He wanted to get some things checked out. So I called a friend of mine. He come get me from work.
Yeah.
I go to the hospital, and you tell the hospital. So you at the Providence.
Well, because it's important to know that with our first miscarriage, I knew that something was going to be wrong. I just knew. I knew it was weird. It wasn't like any of my other pregnancies. And then, you have those moms who have those fish dreams. For those of you out there who understand the fish dreams, shout out to the moms who have the fish dreams. It's not witchcraft. It is real. But my mom had a fish dream. And in her fish dream, all of the fish died. I did not tell her that I was pregnant. We didn't tell anybody. And she said the fish died in the dream. That's the short version. And so she called me. She said, Tomika, somebody's pregnant and the baby's going to die. The baby's going to die. They're going to die. Oh, Lord. So she's crying. She is crying and she is having a fit. Then she called me back the next day and she said, I had another fish dream. And this time the fish were flourishing. They were everywhere. They were coming out of cabinets. They were coming out of cupboards. They was coming out everywhere. So the person that's going to lose these babies, it's okay because they're going to have life and life more abundantly after. It's going to be okay. I said, okay, Mom. Never told her I was pregnant. But I knew that something was off about the pregnancy. So when I was at the hospital and I had to call my mom, who I didn't tell I was pregnant, I said, hey, Mom, I'm at the hospital. and this is the deal. I'm pregnant. And so she's quiet on the phone because, number one, she's mad that my phone is off and I hadn't called her. But she's quiet because she remembered the dream. So she was worried instantly. Mm-hmm. And she said, well, okay, well, what's going on? And I said, well, Mom, it's not looking good. But remember you had that fish dream, and even if this doesn't go well, it's gonna be well. So I had to encourage my mom. Go figure, right? So she actually, so as I'm at the hospital, I'm there by myself, and the tech saw, the tech saw something, and she was so shocked that she just kind of left everything and ran out. And
left everything where it was.
Yes, and the thing about it is she was very rude when I first got there because she was ready to go. And she was very rude, but all of a sudden she just became really nice. Really nice, overly nice. And she's like,
"Hey, Shayla."
She's like, you know what? Hey, you know what? Don't leave the hospital. I was like, yeah, something's going on. So I said, well, okay. So I get myself together and I'm getting going. And she's like, yeah, don't leave the hospital. I'm like, okay, you said that one time. So then I call him and I'm like, yeah.
Rush to the hospital.
Yeah, something's going on because she's overly nice. So we get there.
Get to the hospital, and then
we have to go to another hospital.
The doctor called and said, tell her to go to
another hospital.
Tell her to go home, pack a bag, and check into the hospital.
Yeah.
So okay. Still not really sure what's going on at this time.
Yeah.
So we went home, packed the bag, and went to the hospital. Now, remind you, we had planned to tell everyone on my birthday.
Yes, on his birthday.
And we are a day before my birthday.
Which is the next day.
So. Yeah, so all this is happening the day before my birthday. The day before was planning to tell everyone. Mm-hmm. So as we head to the other hospital, I called my parents. I said, hey, I got good news and bad news.
So now he has to tell his parents.
We're pregnant, and we're heading to the hospital now.
Yeah.
Well, what's going on? We're not sure. The doctor just wants us to go to the hospital. So we get to the hospital, and this time I'm with her. We finally get checked in, and I'm with her when they do ultrasound. And they still not telling us anything. Mm-hmm. And this tech, she does the same thing. She's like, oh, okay. And I said, is everything okay? She's like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, because we went through 3 techs.
And I said, well, what do you see? Well, I don't really read these things. The doctor actually reads them. I just take the pictures. I said, but you see something. What do you see? Well, the doctor will explain everything to you when he comes in, and he can give you a full report of everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So she wasn't helping me at all. Long story short.
By the 3rd tech.
Yeah.
By the 3rd tech, we just hemmed the 3rd tech up. Like, okay, listen, this what's going to happen. What you going to do is.
Tell us what that picture say.
Yeah.
Because we'll see the same thing you said, but we'll know what we're looking at.
So by the 3rd tech, we were like, okay, listen. Okay, come here, Sasha. You're going to tell us what's going on. Well, we hemmed her up, and she pretty much told us that the reason everybody was shocked was because we actually had a baby in the ovary. And no one had seen that in years. Yeah. So,
and they kept asking her, do you feel any pain?
I should have been in pain.
You're not in any pain? She's like, no, I'm fine. This is a great pregnancy for me. And they were all not only shocked to see the
baby in the ovary. Yeah.
Right now, but she wasn't. And
shout out to the high pain tolerance.
So they take us on upstairs, and the doctor comes in, and this is for me where it became a helpless and a hopeless situation where we just didn't trust God. The doctor comes in, we're in the hospital room, in our room checked in, she's in the bed, I'm on the little sofa thing next to the bed, and the doctor comes in, he explains to us that the baby's in her ovaries. He's growing, everything's look fine, but he's in our ovaries.
And for those of you who are checking in, this is the first miscarriage. So
we've had 2.
Yes, yeah.
And he was like, we're gonna have to terminate the pregnancy. Like terminate the pregnancy. We're gonna come in, they're gonna give you 2 shots in your hip, and it's gonna be like a chemo shot, and we're gonna do this. And he began to just run down what's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. And we're both sitting there in like this shock moment because you tell us we're pregnant, but at the same sense, you got to terminate the pregnancy. And he says all of this. You have any questions? And of course, we're still there in like shock. And we're like, no. And then he leaves out of the room.
I think he probably was in more shock than I was.
I was.
He was in more shock than I was.
He leaves out of the room. And then when he leaves out, there was this awkward silence between the both of us. And then she's in the bed, I'm on the sofa, and we both just began to cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we both just began to cry.
Yeah.
And it was in that moment, I was like, I felt like my choice had been taken away from me.
Yeah.
Like the doctor's just gonna come in and tell us what we gonna do. We're gonna terminate the pregnancy. We're gonna do this. Y'all young, you can try again. And I would honestly say that in that moment, my faith had just left me. And I don't know, I can't explain how or what was going on or why I responded or I didn't respond at all. But my faith escaped me. And I just felt completely hopeless, completely helpless, should I say. Not hopeless, but helpless. This is happening, and it's apparently nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, yeah. I think that even like for marriage, when you're having a hard time, when you're going through stuff, it's important to have the right voices in your ear as well. Because we did have somebody that came and tried to give us a prophetic word that told us, oh, this baby is going to be fine. This is before anybody even knew I was pregnant. And it was going to be fine. It was going to be okay. And I was like, oh, okay, all right.
It was the next day.
Yeah, it was the next day. But now my mama, I'm saying mama because I'm from the South for the people that's listening. My mama, not my mom, not my mother. My mama, okay, whose fish dreams have never failed me, have never failed anyone, had never failed, already let me know what the deal was going to be. And so I think that some of that too might have caused a little confusion, but that's for another, whatever as well. But it was hard because it was his birthday.
Yeah. So I spent my birthday not telling our friends and everyone. As a matter of fact, we had plans with our friends.
Yeah, we had plans with some people
to go out to the movies. Yeah, and I think come back to our house and hang out.
They were a tad bit upset with us about that.
We had plans with our friends to go out to the movies and enjoy a movie and come back to the house and hang out. And we were going to tell them at the house, and hey, we're pregnant. And we had a whole big thing planned. But instead, we're at the hospital on my birthday, terminating the pregnancy and calling our friends saying, hey, we can't get together, or something come up, we can't get together. Not really going into details with them at that time what was going on, but just, hey, we can't get together. So what we had planned to be a great celebration. I spent my birthday in the hospital that day, terminating the pregnancy.
And it's the feeling of loss. Even when you don't expect to have a baby or you're not looking for a baby, the feeling of loss. I've never had an abortion, but I do know ladies who have had abortions, and it's the feeling of loss that you cannot overcome. I'm not gonna get a little emotional thinking about it right now, but trying not to anyway. But it's this feeling of just loss that you just cannot get over. So when David says that his soul is sorrowed, his heart is so sorrowful. And when he talks about in Psalms 142 of just all the different little, like his soul is just so sorrowful, or my soul is so grieved even unto death. It's a weird feeling of loss that you just don't get over. And so I know I was a little bit changed. I know I was a little changed. I can tell our marriage was different.
I think with the marriage, we didn't really talk about it like I think we should have.
Yeah, we did. The first one
we didn't talk about like we should have. We didn't express our feelings and emotions or what we felt. I think we kind of just, we were together, but we were isolated. And we isolated our emotions. And I know for me, it was, I didn't know how she felt about it, so I didn't want to talk about it. I don't want to, stir up any unnecessary emotions, if you will. So we didn't talk about it. And I think that affected how we healed behind it.
Yeah.
Because we didn't express our emotions, and we knew what happened. We experienced it, of course, but we didn't dialogue and talk about our feelings and our emotions.
Yeah. But and at that time, it's important to know that for us, we had so much stuff going on at that time, man. We had so much.
We had one car, no phone at the time. So that just gives you an idea of what was going on in our life.
Yeah, oh God. We had so much going on at that time that it was like, okay, this is one thing. Okay, we can't stay stuck here.
Oh,
we can't stay stuck here. We got to keep going. We got to pick up and keep going, because if we get stuck here, then we'll get stuck in grief and we'll get stuck. So we kept going, but we never went back to it. And so that's why it's important in marriage to know the place you're in, like to know the place your marriage is in. And if you have to go back to something, you got to go back to it. But we didn't go back to it. We were fine, but then round 2.
Fast forward. In Yvette,
that was the first miscarriage. So we didn't go back to round. We didn't go back. So then we get hit with round 2 miscarriage, and it's like, what just happened to us? Oh my Jesus, Holy Ghost, baby Jesus with the golden fleece in a manger. What you got? What Yvette said?
Yvette said, she said it will change you. Ms. Matthews said, "Thank you for your transparency." It was
gotcha. Oh, that's right. I couldn't see it on there. Sorry, but it does change you. The miscarriage does change you.
And I would say that even after after our first miscarriage, we kind of just tossed it under the rug. Like we got over it, moved past it, and tossed it under the rug.
We did.
And it wasn't until we had the second miscarriage that we acknowledged the hurt and the healing. So fast forward to 2019.
Was that 2019?
Yeah, last year we had a miscarriage.
That was at the end of 19?
Yeah,
why do I feel like it was 18? Oh my. Okay,
it was last year.
Okay.
So last year, we go to the doctor for a regular checkup, and the doctor's like, "You pregnant?" And you like, "What?"
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
We what?
Yeah.
So we.
Thank you, Jess, for our accountability. I remember saying, I don't know how people get through loss without God. Because the feeling of loss was so overwhelming. I remember laying in my bed, like looking at my ceiling. Oh, this was the first one. Now, this is not even the second one. The second one tried to take me out. But I remember laying in my bed with the first one, looking at the ceiling, and I never told him. But I was looking at the ceiling, and I was like, give me a minute. Because the loss. Jesus. I remember saying, though you slay me, yet will I trust you. And I knew it wasn't God slaying me. It's just what you think about when you think about the loss. And I remember rolling in the bed, and I was crying, and I was just crying uncontrollably, and I couldn't stop crying. And God said to me, he asked me, he said, "What do you want?" And I stopped because I was like, and I started giving God all of these things that I wanted for other people. And I said, I want Leon to have this, and I want Byron to have this, and I started saying the things that I wanted other people to have. And he said, "No, I asked you, what do you want?" And I said, okay, a house. I said, I want a house. Because at this point, we didn't own our house. And I said, I want a house. So this is in January, January the 5th. And he said, okay. I know I said I want a house for my birthday. My birthday is March 31st. Now, this is January the 5th. I said I want a house for my birthday. And at the time, remember, we were going through hardships kind of in every area. So there was no way we should have had a house. And he said, okay. And as instantly as God said, okay, my tears dried up. Everything dried up. The feeling of loss left me. Everything left me. And I sat on the side of the bed and started laughing. Because you have to know me to know that I truly do have the joy of the Lord. And, man, I started laughing. And I will tell you this. I would have been in my house on my birthday, March the 31st. But he was out of town. In, where were you?
DC, probably.
DC somewhere. Washington, DC on some fatherhood trip. So I couldn't get the keys until he came back. But I would have been in my house for my birthday. But we went in April the 5th. And that was January the 5th. But I would have been, and it was all supernatural. It was all God. It was unexpected. So, when things happen, we just keep the faith that God has a reason, and it's going to keep, it's going to get better in time. But I just had to say that part because the feeling of loss was overwhelming. But go ahead.
So, now that I just realized that it took me a whole year to get
It took you a year to get it together? Sorry.
Yeah, man.
Man, it took you a year.
I'm actually replaying the year because you have to know us and how we operate in deliverance. Like when you don't get healing in one area, how it hinders you in other areas. And I'm just trying to replay the year and how not getting healed from that soul hurt.
Yeah.
May have hindered me in 2019, but the Lord gonna redeem the time. But
He's
so
gonna
fast
redeem
forward,
the time that the locusts and the cankerworm ate up. Let us get holy.
In 2018, we found out we pregnant again in 2018.
Wow, 2018 miscarriage was whoa.
Yeah, because we found out in October.
My gosh.
And
woo.
You went on a trip in
October. No, we found out in September.
We found out in September.
Yeah, we found out in September.
And she went on a trip in October.
I did. Mm-hmm.
And when she went on a trip in October, you want to just share that story?
Well, it's important to know me, and you'd have to know me and my background to know. So I had a dream about my miscarriage. When I dreamed, they happened. That's all I'm gonna say. I binded it up. Still was in faith. Everything is fine. We're good. It's great. That was the devil. Anyway, so but yeah, we found out we're pregnant, and we weren't even trying to get pregnant. We weren't trying to have another baby. None of that.
Hey, just a pastoring.
Yeah. I mean, who wants another baby at 38 that already has 4? So we were fine. We're moving along. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. Go on a trip with my girls. Go on a trip, doing fine, feeling some stuff while I'm on the trip, but not telling them because I don't want anybody to get alarmed or, have any moments. So that happened. And so I start bleeding while I'm on this trip. But then I'm a leader, right? Mm-hmm. And I have 3 ladies with me. And so what do you do at this moment? And they all shout out to my crew, Jasmine, Angela, Judy. You guys are the best people on the planet. They do everything that they're supposed to do for me. We come home, we're singing, we have a good time, and we come home, and then I come home to a miscarriage. So I come home, and at this moment, yeah.
Because when she called me that morning and said she was bleeding,
yep.
I was about to get on the flight and fly to Texas to where they were, or get in the car and drive to Texas.
Yeah.
It's like, do you go to the hospital in Texas? What do you do? So we come home, go to the doctor. And, doctors, they're not very forthcoming at the very first visit. They're just not very forthcoming with this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Cause our doctor, it was the same doctor.
Same doctor. It's not.
Well, he didn't just say it, He didn't just say it.
Well, they don't really just say it anymore, because I mean, they try to.
I'm as a matter of fact.
They try to give you like.
You didn't give me that. You didn't give me that with the first time.
They try to give you hope, baby.
I mean,
they try to do something.
So with this miscarriage, it was this normal. One? Like with the pregnancy was normal. Everything looked normal on the ultrasounds.
Yeah.
It was no explanation. We were about the same for about 2 months alone.
Yeah, but this one. For
her, it was different.
I've never had any pain in pregnancy. All of my kids, I had a 9-pound baby and no pain, none. And this was my first time having pain in a pregnancy related any way, period related, any of that menstrual cycle related. And so this one was painful. It was long and it was painful. I would hear women...
The miscarriage itself was long.
I would hear women say, my watch just told me to breathe. I guess I was getting too excited. I would hear women talk about having long miscarriages, and I never understood it because my first one was so short, so quick, to the point it was over. But this one took a long time. It took time for my hormones to get back together. For my hormones, the pain was kind of tough with this one. And then I had that mental aspect as well. Because the enemy was trying. He was trying hard to float in with depression and
this
all of
pregnancy really had the potential to really break us. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It really had the potential to really, if we weren't really solid in the word, it really could have broken us.
It could have broke us.
Because
marriage wise, everything. I was just tired. We were tired.
We were
over it.
This was it. This was
we were
one of those
over
real
it.
moments in our marriage where I think this last pregnancy, this last miscarriage rather, was one of those things where we was like, you know what?
We were over ministry. We were, and this is 2018.
I was pastoring then.
Yeah, this is 2018. And so it was
tough because
we were over it.
This is what you have to realize. So she had to deliver the fetus. Mm-hmm. And then the doctor wanted to test it.
But wait, we just need to talk about the fetus delivery itself. So I get some... We're at the Gospel Fest. And this is why I tell people, you always be nice to people. Always be kind to people. You never know who you're talking to. You never know what they're dealing with. So I'm at the Gospel Fest at Texas Street Rec. This is my home. I'm from down the bay. Shout out DTB. So I know every area of down the bay. So when I'm down the bay, that's home for me. So I'm at Texas Street Rec. And I'm supposed to be passing a fetus right now. I'm having a miscarriage. I know I'm having a miscarriage, but he doesn't want to leave me at home alone. So this is the stuff that we go through in marriage. So he doesn't want to leave me at home alone. So here I am with him at the Gospel Fest, having a miscarriage, just waiting on the baby to pass. And my grandmother actually lives literally across the street from Texas Street Rec, because remember, this is my home. This is where my family is. This is where I'm from. So I said, well, babe, I have to use the bathroom. I'll be back. Wow. So I walk across the street to my grandma's house, which, New Shiloh, and then grandma's right there. So I walk across the street to grandma's house. And as I'm at my grandma's house, I have my miscarriage. And, God.
Can't hit pause.
We can't hit pause. We're live. We can't edit either. We usually edit. We don't want to edit it because it's important to know. You never know what somebody's going through. Mm-hmm. And that was tough. Mm-hmm. Because I actually, had a miscarriage. And this part right here is going to get graphic. Because, sometimes you just have to say it. I had to get it, and wrap it up because the doctor wanted to test it. They want to see if it's genetically okay and everything is all right. And then I had to walk back across the street. I didn't have to, but I did. I chose to. I'm strong. I'm pretty strong. And I was like, okay, hey, we got to go. Yeah, he's like, oh, okay. All right. Is everything okay? I'm like, no, we just got to go. And I'll never forget seeing someone there at the Gospel Fest, and I spoke, and she was real short and real whatever because somebody else probably had been talking to her about me. And I was thinking, man, the opportunities that we miss to minister, we want to be so deep and so holy, but the opportunities that we miss to minister to people, I never take it lightly. So when I see you guys out at Walmart and the Lord says, pray for her, or just say, hey, or hug her, I do that. You don't take that lightly. So anyway, but back to us and our marriage and our miscarriage and our hardships. This was the hardest part of our marriage.
It was.
We have, money.
This really.
Money.
It was
kids,
emotional.
like I said, it was just.
It was emotional behind it.
This is the hardest part.
It was really emotionally draining.
Yeah. Man.
So we took the fetus to the doctor.
And still having to be leaders. Yeah, oh my gosh.
Brand
new leaders. You know what that means.
And so we take the fetus to the doctor. He sends it off, and we get to go to the doctor every week to get her hormones level tested.
Every week.
Every week to the doctor to get her hormone level tested to make sure her HGCs are going down and all that kind of stuff. Yep. And the doctor, one of our last visits, he comes back and he wants to read us the results from the test for the fetus. Mm-hmm. And for me, this is when I just kind of lost it and it came detached.
Yeah.
He got the chart. He read. He said, I'm looking at it. It was a girl, and she was a healthy baby girl. We don't see no genetic malfunctions. Nothing wrong with her. We don't know what happened. And it was just like that. It just got quiet.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you gonna have a moment now? Gosh, we're having moments. Sorry, you guys. It's a part of transparency. We're talking about the hardest part of our marriage for people who just now checking in. So this is kind of like the hardest part of our marriage.
So, so he leaves, and then we sitting there, and I was like, man, I've been wanting a girl for so long.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Okay. So
he had a moment. He
so
did.
Here we go.
That was the roughest part.
So even when we were pregnant with Joshua, and the doctor was saying it was a boy, I was like, it's a girl now too. It's a girl now too.
Yeah, we had to
I was
bind
in the
up.
hospital with delivery day with boy and girl stuff. So when the doctor read this chart and he was like,
we had to bind up all of that to make sure
it was a healthy baby girl, and we don't know what happened. Man, I was like, if I'm just being honest for a moment, I got mad at God.
Yeah. And
I just realized that last month. And I was like, God, I didn't even ask for this pregnancy. Like, we weren't trying to have no baby. We didn't want no baby. We didn't want a baby. And then we get pregnant. We get excited about it. We tell our friends. And then it's gone. Just like that.
Just like that.
Like, just like that.
Just like that.
And it's a girl.
As quick as we told them, it was gone.
As quick as we told, literally, we told them 1 week, and the next week it was gone. And I became detached. Like, I really.
He did. I know. Okay, okay. Oh, you having a moment. He's having a moment. So.
Yeah, you go ahead.
And for me, here we go again with all of these different voices. Oh my God, I'm so glad I'm strong in my mind and in my spirit. Praise Jesus. But then it's, oh my God, somebody was speaking against you, and somebody tried to put some witchcraft on you. I'm like, girl, witchcraft don't work on me. It doesn't work.
But this is what I would say.
So it was like, no, it's none of that. It is none of that. God he knew it was something. It's something to be learned, something to be taught, something that I had to experience, something that had to happen. There we go.
And this is what I would say.
Don't go that deep.
When it comes to miscarriages. And I know every relationship is different. Every marriage is different.
Yeah.
And we know that women actually experience the miscarriage and they feel the pains of it. But we never, in many times, never really talked to the man about how he fit behind the miscarriage.
Yep.
Because I can remember even for the very first miscarriage, when I felt like it was a helpless situation and there was nothing I could do to stop what was happening. I remember telling her, hey, I think I was going to the cafeteria or something and I'll be right back. But I actually left the room and went down to the lobby. And I just cried. Like, I just boo-hoo cried.
Yeah.
And while I was down there, my best friend came. He came in there where I was. He was like, man, are you okay? And I was like, I don't know. And that was in 2013. Like, I don't know. So when this one happened this time, in 2018, I was like, man, like, I didn't even ask for this. Like, this is the second time this has happened. And I mean, I've known people who've done this more than one time.
Yeah, Jesus.
And after this, it was to the point to where there was if I'm honest, there was a level of having fear. There was a fear of having unprotected sex.
And we're married.
And we're married.
And we are married.
There was a fear.
And we would be like, whoa, wait.